Welcome back to the UiPath Test Manager course. In the previous video, we've created a test case and added manual steps. It's time to take things further by executing the test case. Before getting to it, let's differentiate between the two ways of executing test cases, in debug mode and in test set run mode. The first of the two is basically a dry run, allowing us to go through the steps without generating a real result, which would then go to the dashboard and reports. With this mode, we can check out, for example, if the test case is properly set up. So let's do just that. We'll select Tasks and then Debug, and this window opens. Alright, we'll start by opening a new Chrome window. And as you can see, the URL is displayed here. Let's also see if it is in the clipboard. Yes, it is. So the first step is done. Let's mark it as such. Then we need to input the username. Once again, it is in the clipboard, so it's enough to paste it. Finally, the password. Okay, you'll have to trust us on this one. The password in the clipboard is missing the last letter, so it will not work. This is why it's so important to use the run and debug mode first. Let's add the missing letter manually and click sign in. And the login is successful. But the third step is not, so let's set that one to failed. And the last step to passed. Now we can go back to the manual steps and fix the error. Like this. A side note here, in the Overview tab of our test case, there's a manual label that has been assigned automatically. This is because we've added manual steps. If we would have linked an automated test case, the automated label would have been added automatically. Keep in mind that these labels cannot be removed manually, but they will automatically disappear if we remove all the manual steps. Let's get back to the Manual Steps tab. Each step added here has its own menu, offering many possibilities, moving the step up or down, first or last, duplicating it, or inserting another step before or after. Okay, now it's time to execute the test case in a way that generates a result, available in the reports and in the dashboard. For this, we first need to create a test set. We'll switch to the Test Sets tab and create a new test set by clicking on the dedicated option. Let's give it a name, let's say Smoke Test. Of course, we can add a description and labels, but let's skip this step for now. Our newly created test set is empty. It has no results, no test cases, basically no data. To assign a test case to it, we'll use the option with the same name in the Tasks menu. There is only one test case in this project, the one we've created in the previous demo. So let's select it and hit Assign. And now we are able to execute this test set. In order to do that, we simply click the Execute button. And this window appears, the one we already know. Let's quickly go through the execution, as we are already familiar with all the steps in the process. We'll open an incognito window. Paste the URL from the clipboard. Mark the step as passed. Enter the username, again from the clipboard. Passed. Finally paste the password, and sign in. Successful, as expected. We can close now the UI Bank application and check the outcomes. The first thing we can see is that the result of our test execution now appears under Latest Results. If we click on the auto-generated name, we are taken to the test results page. Here we can see a summary of the execution. How many test cases passed, how many failed, and how many were not executed. Below we have each test case listed with its result. If we want to go even more in depth, we can click on the name of the test case. Another view will open, containing all the steps with their individual results. You may be curious to see how failed test cases look like. Let's go for that too. We'll execute the test set once again, but this time let it fail. From the page of the same test set, we'll click Execute one more time. Open the window. Paste the URL. Enter the username from the clipboard. then paste the password, and add some letters to it. Let's mark this step as successful, since entering the password was not an issue. But when we click Sign In, we get the login failed message. In such a situation, there are several things we can do as testers. The first thing is adding a comment, like this. But we may want to document it through a screenshot. We can use any tool for this. For example, Snipping tool. We'll select the relevant area, and it will appear in the Snipping tool. From here, we'll simply copy it, position to the test execution window, and hit Ctrl+V. Notice the small camera icon, confirming that it was added to our step. And we can even see a preview by clicking on it. Okay, then we'll set the step as failed, and click Done to return to the main Test Manager window. What we can see here is that we have a new execution of the test set, and it has a failed status. Let's open it and see the details. Here's the summary, and below the result of the test case. We can drill into the details by clicking on the test case name. Here we have the step that failed, the comment of the tester, and, of course, the screenshot. So this is a valid test result, and it will appear in the reports and on the dashboard. Another important thing we can do here is to add a defect to our LM tool, if the integration is configured. In our case, the project is synchronized with a Jira project. So, by clicking Create Defect, here under Tasks, the data on the failed test execution will be pushed to Jira as a bug, and a link will be added here. If we click on it, we will be taken to Jira. Here's how the defect appears, with the data in a table format, with a link to the corresponding test result in Test Manager, and the screenshot which we can open. This concludes our demo on test execution. As a quick recap, we've run the test case in debug mode, then as a test set. Then we created a defect in Jira. Thank you for watching.